Guys, I think I'm pretty well ready to give you this new video for Art and me. Sorry, my camera isn't though. Let's see here. Yeah, that's good. This is me. It's in the guitar's in standard tuning, the capo on the 3rd fret, so we're gonna do it that way. So a G chord is here, and these strings are already covered by the capo, so we can kind of do a somewhat open version in standard tuning versus it being in the alternate tuning, playing it straight with the alternate tuning. I played around with this one a little bit, tried to refine it, go through the motion. Sorry, I keep trying to not wipe my nose on camera. And I'll play it nice and slow because it's been interesting to figure this one out in standard. So anyway, let's go into it. Let's see how. So there's the G, then an A minor 7th with the G in the bass, then a G with no 3rd, and then back to an A minor 7th in the bass. Sorry, A minor 7th with the G in the bass, and we play that set of chords 4 times before the verse comes in. Probably the first 2 times you could play it with just those 4 strings, and then start hitting the bass string. The low E string rather, sorry, which is going to be a G with our capo. So once you've played it twice, the 3rd time would sound like, or maybe not. I'm trying to remember the recording, and I have been listening to it and trying to get it fresh in my head here for this. So hopefully you've got a nice large widescreen, flat screen TV to look at my hands with, so that everything looks huge and easy to see. So we're doing that. We're doing it 4 times. So sorry, now I'm slowing that down. It is. What I'm doing is my middle finger is resting on the A string while the chords change to mute it, and if I happen to, it's a note, it's a G, so it fits what's going on, since there's like a G in the bass played throughout all the chords that are going on. That finger's just kind of there to mute that A string the whole time. If you don't want to do the arpeggiated means the notes are broken up in the chord. Better theory stuff all the time. So then we have verse come in. Let me see what I can do there. Images on the sidewalk speak of dreams descend. Whoops. Washed away by storms to break. Whoops. Waves of sin, now we're gonna see. Okay, so things kind of change a little bit. We had the chords we did before. Now we have a G with an A in the bass and an A minor. the way I quote unquote solve that problem with the capo is here's your G. So your G with your reaching up, now your middle finger is gonna do something. It's gonna on the E string on the 2nd fret relative to the capo position. And then you're still maintaining your and as your middle finger reaches up, it meets the 5th string below it, A string, 5th string. So I'm just giving you an example of the chord. It does switch. It would switch from a G to the A in the bass to the A minor, which the way I fudged that chord is like this. As you're in that position and you're letting that go, my pinky reaches up to the 4th string while my pointer slides up to the 2nd fret. This finger can stay where it is. It can keep muting the 5th string below it, so you're it's sorry, I'm still working on that transition myself, obviously. Washed away by storms of 2 graves of cynical lament. You notice when he sings cynical lament, something sort of something switches, something changes the feel of the song. Because the way those chords switch back and forth, the G with the A in the bass and the A minor, as compared to the G, A minor with G in the bass, G no third, A minor with G in the bass again. So it feels different to me. There's some kind of a dent that happens, like going from 1st to 2nd with a car or something. I don't know. It's sort of like that. That's just the way it feels. I can't put it into music theory terminology. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. The timing changes. I guess the song's in 2/2 time, and I could easily see somebody sort of saying, "Oh, it's in 4/4." According to those who know better than I, it's in 2/2. So anyway, if anybody cares about that crap. And then we had a new chord, an A flat major 7th to an E flat major 7th to a D suspended. So there's your A flat major 7th.
What kind of Chinese food do
Hang
you
on a
like?
sec.
And I thought
Sorry, food interruption. Chinese food, yay. So yeah, A flat major 7. Which hopefully that sounds recognizable from the song. Then we go into some other chords. Hang on a sec. Like if you're having trouble with the chords, again, just pause the video, practice, or even take a break from the video and just practice doing those chords. What we've covered so far looks like this. Here's your intro. If you want to pause it and practice, go ahead. And then there's the verse 1 with the chords I was talking about. And I tried to even get the timing out as best I could according to suggestion. And and then we're going to move on to the next part. I think I need to buy a music stand while I do these videos, so I can have the song in front of me a little bit closer than to the ground. Right now it's too close to the ground. So let me play the first chorus. I'll play the chords, then I'll sing along with the chords. We got an E minor 7th with I guess what's an added 4th note, C 2nd, the D added 4, D with an added 4, a G major 7th with a B in the bass, and those repeat about 1, 2, 3, times, and then the 4th time they just cut off the G major 7 that bass. It'll make probably a lot more sense when I play it versus naming these things if names are not your thing. So let me get to that. Let me get this camera angle just a little bit better too. My sunlight's kind of going out because the cloud just came over. Okay, let's see. Here, I'll give you the options that I got for this. Okay, so there's that. Let me sing it with words so you can see how it sounds like the song. Most important thing. In your picture book, I'm trying hard to see. Turning endless pages of this tragedy. Sculpting every movie you compose a symphony. You plead to everyone, see the art in me. See the art in me. See the art in me. Okay, and there's our, I guess, what's our first chorus. The E minor 7th thing, what I came up with was doing, what's a quote-unquote power chord. Let's see, where's the capo? There it is. So you're about 4 frets up from the capo, starting on the 5th string, and you're going. You can even go so far as to take your middle finger, put it on the 2nd string here, and go. And you have. Okay, for the C, quote unquote C chord, it's the same. You could do that, and it's the same shape, and it just everything bumps up to. There's your bass roots. So it sounds like same shape. Everything moves up a string and a fret. So. Move up 2 frets. We're still maintaining that shape. And this is something I do when I play Overjoyed too. There's a sort of similar system I'm using there. If you watch that video that I have for Overjoyed. And then I'm sliding down for my, what's that, G major 7 with B in the bass. My ring finger isn't doing anything, it's just hanging out. Okay, so we're on the 4th fret. Starting here, I'm muting the 5th string below it, pressing down the 6th. Then my middle finger is on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And then my pinky is on the 4th string, 6th fret. And this is relative to the capo. So it's all together, it's, you can hear how that 5th string's muted. You can see how it's happening here. I mean, you don't, like I said, you don't have to do the here. You can still do this and just mute your, just reach up to mute your, since you're doing a, if that kind of, if you're a bit of a sloppier player, and just muting that low E string makes it easier for you to do that. And it's getting comfortable with those changes when you're up here going, and then going. Well, Whoops, see, I can't do it. It took me a while. It took me a little while to get it. So, you know, if you're having trouble or feeling like, it's so hard, it's just the process of beating it out until your hands do what they're supposed to do. I have the same problem when I do Tai Chi forms. I have to teach my body to move the way, because I'm trying to do 4 things at once. By consequently, Tai Chi will help you with your drumming if you're a drummer, if you're an aspiring drummer. Or some form of that, or even just some form of dance that involves you to move all your limbs at once in different ways. So anyway, there's that. And then I even played what happened in the sort of little interlude that happens between the first chorus and verse 2. At that point, I was going ahead and hitting that low. So again, my 5th string's muted; it's not pressed down. And then I'm just so there's that happening again. And then we move on to broken stained glass windows. Move my pages. Yep, I'm gonna buy a music stand for this. It's gonna be good. There's my dad playing guitar in the background, if you can hear that. So it's broken stained glass windows, the fragments ramble along. Tales of broken souls and eternity's been won. Critics scorn the thoughts and words of mortal man. My eyes are drawn to you and all once again. So there's your second verse. The little thing that changed was there's some C chords in there. Here, and I forgot to show you the first chorus map there. Here's the map, in case that clears up anything I was talking about. You can pause the video and look at it for a minute if you need to. Go ahead, that's cool. That's learning, that's good. You should do that. Okay, and then verse 2, what I just played. If you want to pause and look at that for a minute, and then that's C major 9 here, then the C 6, 9, another C major 9, and then a C second. I kind of fudged what I did there. I didn't go exactly those chords. C major 9, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to try to wrestle with it. I'm going to give you what I fudged. So it's basically a C second. So I'm on the 4th string. I'm kind of just bouncing there, and I could reach up and mute the low E while I'm doing that, so it's, you know, my bass note is correct, so it's that's all it is. The 3rd and 4th strings on the 2nd fret relative to the capo to get that. And then the thing that was sort of weird about verse 2 was it's G to an A minor 7th with a G in the bass, and then back to a G. There's no G no 3rd thing going on, apparently. If you have a keyboard player that does the kind of goes the da 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 da, then they can cover that. If you don't, your option that you have is what you kind of did in the beginning with the reach all the way up here and I'm muting that fifth string all the time. So it's, let's see, let me sing some words so it kind of makes sense. Broken, okay. Broken stainless windows, the fragments ramble on. And that kind of the tales of broken souls, and eternity's been won. It's pretty much, I guess I'm sort of doing something what the C major 9 chords onward are doing. Eternity's been won. So let's see. Tales of broken souls, and eternity's been won. Okay. Let me show you what I did there. Okay, where I've been muting the fifth string for the G chords. Now instead I'm going to reach up and mute the sixth string for the C's and let that be open. So it's so rather than what I suggested, do this. If you don't have the keyboard player and you're a lone guitarist, that's how you can kind of put all that together with the guitars and what the keyboard did. So yeah, there's that, and then we kind of did what we did. That was like what we did with verse 1 with the A flat major 7 and the E flat major 7 and the D suspended. And then we moved on to a second chorus. There were some slight variated chords that happened when they start singing See the Art in Me, See the Art in Me. Let me just show you that, because saying it without a visual is kind of bad, I think. Okay, so there it is. You see where it's going here, or like I put the harmonized backing vocals in italics so they'd stand out, and that's something I do when I play with the band at church and stuff, or whoever, so they know what's going on there to differentiate those. There, and I ran out of space. That's a 9. I pushed my printer to the limit there. And then See the Art in Me, and then we have the bridge where the guitars start playing and the strings start coming in, and it's that musical interlude, and it's really cool. Let me show you the options that I came up with for this in terms of with this capo here. What I did, the first suggested chord is a G second with no third. So if you didn't, just pause the video or just rewind it back about 6 seconds, so you can see where that G second no third chord is. So that, in terms of the capo, a straight up G second is a in terms of the way it's strummed along with everything else. So it's that's something you can do if you want to do it where the capo's at. And it sounds pretty. I like the sound of that chord. I like that. An easier option would be to reach up to your fret up here. If you got a guitar that's got the double dots for where your 12th fret is, it kind of helps you know where I'm at here. And I'm muting the low E. So, oops, rather reach up one more, because that's basically some kind of G5. So I'm that's an option too. Sort of might be easier than the stretch that chord is, but that's good exercise. It's good training if you want to do that instead. But if you know, whichever way is more comfortable, you can do the, whoops, screwed it up. Okay, so it's, so yeah, so it says D7 suspended. If I was doing a D7th, I guess it would be, so that's not suspended, but if I was trying to suspend it, it would be, anyway, I'm getting awful technical there, and you can still See how that still sounds 99% correct, even though it's not exactly the suggested chord in all its glory. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty close. You know, unless you're, you know, a chord nerd and have to play chords the way they are, you can get away with doing. Wow, where's the note? Do 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 do. Oh boy, that's hard to do it together. Okay, so I was trying to sort of play what the strings do with my voice, and that's me trying to do 1.5 things at the same time, and you see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, so I mean, there's options for what you could do with those chords there. The other half of that, I'm calling it the bridge. There's the other half of it, and then there's the third chorus, and then that ends out the song. If you want to pause it and look at that as long as you want. So yeah, and it kind of changes from that G second. Now it's just a plain G with a D suspended to a C2, and then they go G, D7 suspended, C2, then G, D2, C2, G, D2, C2. You know, that's stuff that's trying to correlate with the piano offering that's available, and maybe even coordinate with what happened on the strings originally on the record. So, depending how technically accurate you need to be there, you know, if you are blessed with a small string quartet at your church that can really, you know, those guys can just sit down and listen to that record and be like, oh, it's like this. Or someone who can at least sit down and take the time to notate what the strings did if you want to go that far with it. Or if you just want to be a lone guitar player at a coffee house saying, hey, I want to play this song Jars of Clay by Art and Me, and here's an easy way to do it without having to fancy tune. They do the fancy tuning. There's a way to do it too. So the third chorus, it doesn't really do any chords that were different. You're still playing that sort of E minor, C, D, G major 7th with B in the bass type progression. I'm not naming the chords exactly because they're, you know, names are long. You can look again, you can pause the video before I hold up the chart and see what's going on, exactly what the names are. So yeah, but yeah, I kind of, if you just look at the way it ends, I tried to count it out. I would suggest for the ending, if you're not going to have somebody who's going to do the coffee cup stomps like the end did on the record, or some kind of progression on the, you know, some kind of percussion on the ending, you can kind of just, it ends on a quote-unquote C chord, so it's like, like that. That's a way to end it if you want, or however you feel moved to end that song. I know these videos are long like this, but really a guitar lesson that you pay money for, yeah, that you pay money for is about a half hour long, maybe, or longer. So if these videos seem long, I'm not apologizing, because that's you're getting a free 30-minute guitar lesson from me on how to play this in a way that I worked kind of hard to figure out. So I'm kind of handing you some free knowledge here. So I am not ashamed. Newsboys reference. um, yeah. So anyway, this is a great. I just like it. It's a great way to play it. Still sounds really close to the record. You didn't have to do a fancy tuning for it. Um, it follows the suggested piano music, so you could have somebody play the piano music along with you if you wanted with it. So I feel like I'm giving you a pretty valuable resource here. So anyway, that's it for this one. I'll try to do a video where I play it, and I'll probably stumble when I do that because as you can see, I was having stumbles with some of the chord changes still. I myself am still not ready to play this live. This is at this point, this is just me talking, and you can rewind the video or whatever you need to do. So anyway, thanks for paying attention, guys. Keep learning, and let me know how good or bad this video is. I am trying to up the quality a little bit. I did try to give this song some more time and study it and things because I made a few more discoveries along the way to make it a little bit more smooth and easier to play by giving it a little bit more time. It would give you a better quality tutorial lesson here. So anyway, shutting up and signing out. We'll see you guys next time. God bless.